official. The horror movie from A24, Talk to Me, is getting a sequel. It is one of my favorite movies of the year. It's one of the best horror movies we've gotten in a while, and I'm really excited that it is getting a sequel. So this comes to us from The Hollywood Reporter, and it says, Talk to Me sequel in the works from A24, Danny and Michael Philippa. So those are twin brothers. They created the movie, they wrote and directed the film, and then pitched it to a bunch of different studios, and A24 picked it up. The studio is getting back together with the twin brothers and filmmakers after their horror breakout became a box office hit. The film had a $4.5 million budget and made $10 million domestically in its opening weekend. So yeah, it's definitely a success, and I'm excited that we are going to get a sequel to this film. There's no timeline as to when the sequel is going to be coming out, but we did get it officially announced. The sequel, titled Talk to Me, will be written by Danny Philippa and Bill Hinsman, and is set to be directed by Danny and Michael Philippa. When speaking recently to The Hollywood Reporter, the brothers said they had filmed some form of a prequel that they hope to release at some point. We actually shot an entire Ducket prequel already. It's told entirely through the perspective of mobile phones and social media, so maybe down the line we can release that, Danny Philippa said. But also, while writing the first film, you can't help but write scenes for a second film. So there's so many scenes. The mythology was so thick, and if A24 gave us the opportunity, we wouldn't be able to resist. I feel like we'd jump at it, and they are going to get that opportunity. Horror films are continuing to do really well at the box office with things like Smile, X, Pearl. All of them are doing great for their budget, so they don't have over bloated budgets, and I think that's a huge reason why these films can get made for a smaller budget and then make their money back. A lot of what we're seeing in Hollywood right now is these bloated budgets of over $200 million, and it's really hard to make your money back whenever your movie is that expensive. But take Talk to Me or Sisu, which are two of my favorite films of this year, both with a budget of less than $6 million. Both movies saw great success and were easily able to make their money back because they didn't spend exorbitant amounts of money on high-profile actors, crazy CG, and other things that they simply couldn't afford for their movies. A bigger budget doesn't necessarily mean a better movie, and Talk to Me and Sisu have both proved that point. Although Sisu is not a horror movie, it is a lower budget film, and I think that people have an interest and an appetite right now for that type of movie. People want to see news stories, they want to see creative stories, they want new blood in here, and we are getting that with things like Talk to Me. So one of my favorite things about creating the Talk to Me Explained video was getting to talk to everyone in the comment section about just different theories and ideas about what happened at the end of Talk to Me and how they interpreted it. So I want to talk about possible ideas and concepts. I want to hear from you. I want to know what you think Talk to Me 2, a sequel, is going to be about. I've got some ideas. I'm going to share mine, and then you can shit all over mine, or you can just tell me what you think your ideas are for this film. So if you haven't seen Talk to Me yet, check out my spoiler-free review. But for the rest of us, let's talk about what we think Talk to Me 2 is going to be about, or Talk to Me rather. So I think for a Talk to Me sequel, we're still going to have the story revolve around the lead character Mia, but it's going to be interesting because, as we know, she dies in the film and she's essentially trapped in the embalmed hand in that purgatory, and she's just destined to wander there. I don't know if the more time you spend there, the more evil you become, or if Mia will try to serve as some force for good and try to warn people off from messing around with this embalmed hand. I think what would be really interesting to explore is her just going full evil, full Sith, just awful, and really haunting other people in the next film. My interpretation of the ending of the film was that she sacrificed herself in order to protect Riley and others from her because she was so possessed by all the evil spirits and the ones that were impersonating her mother, that she just did that altruistic thing as her last act. So maybe there is some good left in her. I think the more interesting take would be for her to just be evil. And we obviously know that Sophie Wilde has the range to cover just full evil or a nuanced, more kind of damaged and broken person who has dealt with grief. So that was so much fun to explore that, and I think we can still explore that even more while also getting a new group of people. I don't think Riley, Jade, and her group of friends are dumb enough to continue to go back to the well. I'm not sure how the embalmed hand went all the way from Australia to what seem to be somewhere like Mexico or where the predominant language is Spanish. And the film doesn't have to explain that, but I do think we need a new group of teenagers, college-age kids, whoever, to explore the embalmed hand. And I believe it's the same hand. I've looked through loads of footage. It always looks like it's the left hand. And that's what it looked like in the final shot. So what's cool is the lore and the stuff that you can explore behind the hand itself. There's more than one hand likely. I think it would be potentially interesting, or could get a little convoluted to have more than one hand at play. But the thing is there was a medium, and the medium died and was embalmed, and that's kind of the story behind where the hand came from. But I think one thing that made Talk to Me so great was that they explored grief, that they explored the manipulation that the undead or undead spirits will use against people. And the film was better because of it. It's an exploration of grief. It is a look into motivations and why, like, Mia makes some really dumb decisions, but she does it out of a place of being sad at losing her mother. So she's easy to manipulate, and I hope that in the sequel that they're able to explore that with a new character, but not repeat the same beats that they did in the first one. That's always the fine balance you walk when you do a sequel. So yeah, I'm really curious and interested in what different ideas people come up with for this. I know Danny and Michael Filippo will come up with something even better than what any of us can do, but I think that the collective has really interesting ideas, and they may even steal a few and put some of those ideas into their movie. So let's see what we can come up with. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and I may even do a follow-up video with all the most interesting concepts and ideas for Talk to Me, the sequel. I've got a spoiler-free review of Talk to Me here, an ending explained video here. Subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.
They like you.